All right, so Claude Design just came out, and I want to talk about using it for business. A lot of people are talking about how they use it for their personal use cases. Let's talk about it for work. Let's talk about it for business. So one of the key things that I face with my YouTube channel, as an example, is it takes forever to get thumbnails out. Or if I wanted to newsjack something, I can't just do it right there and then get the thumbnail out and then just post it, right? I have to rely on my team to do that, and that takes forever. And so what I'm going to do right now is just see if I can create a thumbnail type of, I don't know, prototype or template to work off of and go from there. So I think what I want to do over here, so from template, and I'm just learning this as we go right now, by the way, but we have these design systems over here. So you can teach Claude your brand and product, manage design system templates for everyone at Single Grain. Okay, that's great. So maybe what I can do here is I can create a design system for, let's call it Single Grain YouTube thumbnail system. And I can do this for my decks when I'm speaking at a conference or whatever it is exactly. So, I mean, probably don't need to link to my code on, maybe I can link to my code on GitHub. So if I click over here, so singlegrain.com. So we have all these AI marketing skills over here. And I know for a fact that we have skills for content ops. So we have skills to create, I think it's presentation decks, to make copies of websites as well. And so there's a bunch of skills in here. There's even, deck generator over here. You can see Google Slides Builder, style presets, image generator. And also I have skills I have SOPs for long form and short form content in terms of clipping. But anyway, there's probably a lot of stuff that we can pull in here. So I'm just going to do it for fun and see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm not going to hook it into my GitHub just yet. And then in terms of, so there's Figma, there's fonts, logos, assets, and things like that. You know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to put it up over here so y'all can see it. So YouTube channel over here, and I'm just going to say, look, there's a period of time where this type of content performed really well for me, at least. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this in and see if it's able to parse it out. I'm gonna save it to my clipboard. I'm gonna move it over here, and so drag files here or browse. So I should probably save that image. Let's do that again. So let me drag this, and then let me save this image to documents. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that in over here. And then let's go to documents, and then there's a screenshot over here. Okay. So then I'm going to also dictate it out. I've attached a screenshot of thumbnails that have worked decently for us for my YouTube channel, and to a GitHub repo with a lot of AI marketing skills that we have. You can take from it what you will, and that way, you might get a better understanding of what we have going on. And so I'll put that over here, and then this should actually go over here, I think. Okay. So I typically like to go for a clean type of thumbnail, and you can see what's worked well for us, right? The ones that have the higher views. So I would tend to default more towards those and go from there. So not the best prompt in the world, but you can see in less than 4 minutes so far, we're connected to GitHub. GitHub, so we can read private repos, whatever. It's not a big deal. So, okay, I'm going to generate this, and I'm going to let it work. Okay. So keep this tab open and come back in 5 minutes. Okay, that's fine. So we're gonna let this design system put itself together. But the thing is this, I have, I'm looking at my Google Slides, for example. I'm gonna drag it over here. So Google Slides, let's look at, we have all these decks over here that we can use, right? And so let me take a look at like this. Maybe when I spoke at a conference, for example, there's all these decks that we have. Okay, so let's look at this deck. So when I spoke at a conference a year ago in Miami. So I'm not saying I'm going to use this template exactly, but there's probably some elements that we can take from this, right? And I think out of 20 people or whatever, I ranked number 3 for this speech behind 2 keynoters. So I didn't do that bad with this talk. So I might pull this in and make a new system for presentation decks, or even think about it for sales presentations as well. So things that, for me, what's high leverage? If we have a good thumbnail system, and then we have an agent that's managing the thumbnail system, and the agent is finding long form moments and short form moments from my podcast, then we can make the thumbnails for it, and then we can have a page, like an AI channel that auto generates the clips, right? So that to me is high leverage, because that's going to compound, that's going to get views, that's going to drive leads, which is pretty good. Now, On the sales deck side of things, or even presentation decks, let's move to presentation decks for a second. I can have presentation decks at the ready for YouTube videos that I make. And so that's going to help enhance my YouTube videos. That's going to enhance watch time. That's going to get more views. Ultimately, that will compound too. When I think about from a sales standpoint, when you're able to crank out decks quickly, or let's say, for example, you have a conversation with a company, or you didn't even have the conversation yet. They reach out, they fill out a lead form. The research is done automatically. The deck is created. Maybe the salesperson reviews the deck, adds in their magic over there, and then they send that deck ahead of the call. Okay, ahead of the call. How high leverage is that? Because now you've separated yourself from the other companies that you're competing against. So I think there's a lot of different ways to play this, and I think it's really important that you already have a lot of design assets for your website. Why wouldn't you have these under your control fully to pump out at any moment? And then think about it from landing pages standpoint, or if you want to modify a page on your site, let's say like a webinar events page, you can modify all that. Again, it's going to generate more. If you get these out faster, the more content that you're creating, you're increasing your chances of getting lucky. That's ultimately how I see all this. Same thing for carousels that you might make for LinkedIn as well. So this is still generating right now. And I'm going to move over to just explore this a little more with you because I haven't done this yet. Okay, so let's go over to design. And I also want you to notice too, this system that I'm making, my entire team's going to see this because I'm on the team's account. Okay, so just bear in mind, you got to make sure, you got to check what system you're on. So this system's being created. Okay, so examples, what is this over here? So cosmic scale animation, create a sprite-based animation, gives fun background distance. Okay, I think you could actually even make videos with this if you want to. I don't even know what monochromatic means, but displayed on the page with a rich perspective, hover effect, and glow. Okay, that's cool. So you can probably modify these prompts, and as you use these prompts more and more, this is cool. I would probably use this. I would for sure use this for Instagram Reel. This is actually really cool. So in fact, let's play around with this right now. Maybe this will be the last part. Let's just mess with this and see what happens, okay? So where's the prompt? Let me see. I think the prompt's at the bottom. I didn't see it. Okay, cool. So on a response, we animate 10 different text streaming animations for a chat app. Example. You know what? I actually want to use these animations to be posted to Instagram Reels. So I want you to modify it for Instagram Reels. And let's say for one of the chats right now, maybe the first person is asking, how do I get better at AI marketing? And then the responder might say, dude, you got to check out this AI marketing skills repo. It has 1.9K stars, so maybe 1,900 stars on GitHub, and it's completely free. Literally, it has deal resurrectors. The creator of it saved 500 grand within the first 3 days or so. You got to check it out. And the guy will say, okay, well, the other person will say, well, where do I find out about it? And then you just say, what will we say there? Just comment newsletter and I'll send it over to you, right? You wouldn't say that typically in a conversation, but let's just see how this looks. And then, so I want you to create that first one, but I also want you to create, instead of 10 variations, just make 2 more variations on top so I can verify it initially, and let's see what you got. I'm actually excited to see where this goes. So, okay, so it's caramelizing onions. It's doing it right now. And by the way, I've noticed that the new version of this eats up a lot of memory. And the new version of the Claude app also eats up a lot of memory too. Okay, build 3 real variations with chat plus streaming text. This will be really cool if this works well. Loop timing plus responsive stage. Okay, cool. If you need more than 3 colors, okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm just gonna let it work. This is pretty cool, but I don't need it in, I just need it in Instagram Reel. Like you can see it kind of went all out here. I don't need all this other stuff over here. I want to just make it like a text thread. So I'm going to make some adjustments here. Okay, so I want you to make some adjustments here. I think I went a little too far with the Instagram Reels piece. I want you to format it for Instagram Reels size, but I want you to write it out like an iMessage. So, how a typical iMessage would look, right? Like the typical black and white from the original spec, and see how that looks. And we can go from there. So yeah, let's try that and see how it looks. So you can have, by the way, you can have one iMessage chat in light mode and then one in dark mode. Feel free to ask me if you have any clarifying questions. Okay, so we're gonna let it go. I mean, but this is already pretty cool. And so you see how one prompt already gives me it gives me an idea to work with here. And oh look, it's asking me, check this out. It's asking me clarifying questions. So it's using the ask user question tool, which is amazing. Okay. How much phone Chrome? What should frame the chat inside the 9:16 Reel? Just a chat, no phone frame, clean, minimal. Yeah, let's do that. Status bar plus contact header only. Yeah, let's just make it clean. Streaming style for the typewriter, care by care. Word fade out, blur in, AI feel. All 3 at 1 per variation. Let's try that. Overlay hook on top. Bold caption for stopping the scroll. me write the copy. Yes. And the end card CTA comment newsletter pill at the end. That's cool. Contact name in the chat. Let's just put the replies coming from Eric. Let's just do that. That's cool. See, I wasn't even thinking about that. Tap back reactions on bubbles, little heart, Rico recommendation. Yeah, let's do that. Target loop length. Let's make it 8 seconds. What the? It's not changing. So you can see this is new. Maybe it's a little buggy. And then layout of the two variations down here. Side by side in a responsive grid. Stacked vertically full width. Decide for me. Layout of the two variations. I want a side by side in a responsive grid. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. So I think I got all of it. Yeah. And then I just need to move this. And then now it's going to rebuild it. That's great. And then while it rebuilds it right now, I'm going to look at this design system that we have. So this design system over here, okay, missing brand fonts. Claude is rendering type with substitute brand fonts. Okay, that's fine. New design using this system. Okay, great. Thumbnail UI kit. So I don't even know what all this stuff is over here. So let's take a look. So semi-clean Eric cut out PNGs, or at least one confident, one shock. So the templates stop looking like placeholders. So, okay, so our team's going to have to edit this. So the cool thing is I think you might be able to share this with your team and let them edit this. So I think that part's cool. Okay. And then connect GitHub so I can pull the AI marketing skills. That's actually not that necessary, I don't think. And tell me which of the 6 templates feel off. Okay, so let's take a look at these right now. So if I want to, I can't make this bigger. So let's see what's going on here. Like I can see it over here, but go over here, assets, uploads, there's a skill.md. So it has all this stuff in here and you can just constantly edit it. So I think there's a few things that are missing over here. And honestly, I should just probably take all the thumbnails and manually upload them and just kind of let it figure it out from there. But I think it's not a bad start. And what I would do right now after this is I would go upload a bunch of decks that I like from a presentation standpoint that I can reuse for different talks that I'm doing. And I would think about other ads that we're using as well, or other landing pages, or I might even just say, look at the identity that we have on the website and pull from there. So I think this is a really good starting point. And here, check this out. So this is the bad. So ericosiu, how to get better at marketing. You got to check out. So where did I find it? Okay, great. I like this. I mean, this is great. So your hook here probably needs to be adjusted, but overall, I think this is 90% there. How to get better marketing. You got to check this out over here. Yeah. Oh yeah. So it has the way the text is being entered is one just kind of fades in. And then this one over here is a little different. You can see the emojis as well. Like this is pretty sweet. And this all happened from the idea baby that was made from that prompt. And then now we have the marketing angle here. And now I probably can just take this and export this, and I can probably say, hey, give me this as render this so I can upload it to Instagram Reels to use and go from there. So yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, just want to share this with you all. I think this is really new right now. I think there's a ton of potential here, and I think this is very high leverage for what you're doing. Because if one of the moats is distribution right now, you should be creating more and more content. And the more content you create, the luckier you're going to get. That's how I see it. So look, if you enjoyed this video, you can check out this next one over here on how I'm thinking about building a single brain and how we're using a single brain at my organization, single grain. And that's a unified intelligence system for your agents. And that's where your agents interact with your team. So check that out, and I will see you on the other side.